Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, captivated audiences with its powerful storytelling, iconic performances, and unforgettable portrayal of one of history's most revered figures. Behind the timeless scenes and moving performances, tragedy touched some of the actors who brought these legendary roles to life, cutting short the lives of those who left a lasting mark on film history. From seasoned performers to rising talents, their untimely passings left fans heartbroken and reminded us that real life can be as poignant as any epic tale. In this video, we honor the Jesus of Nazareth cast members who have tragically died, celebrating their contributions, remembering their legacy, and exploring the enduring impact they made on audiences worldwide. Anne Bancroft was 46 when she embodied Mary Magdalene in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, a role that demanded a delicate balance of sorrow, spiritual depth, and nuanced emotional expression. On screen, Mary Magdalene was the archetype of redemption and unwavering devotion, her quiet strength and inner turmoil offering audiences a window into the profound human cost of faith and transformation. Bancroft's own life behind the camera was a tapestry of brilliance intertwined with personal struggle. Born September 17, 1931, in New York City to Italian-American parents, she experienced a childhood marked by modest means, cultural expectations, and the pressure to excel in a world that often undervalued women of her heritage. The early loss of close family members and episodes of intense shyness and self-doubt shaped a resilient but introspective woman who carried the emotional scars of these formative years into her artistry. Her career, while glittering with accolades including an Academy Award, Tony, and Emmy, was not without turbulence. She battled typecasting after The Graduate, struggled to assert creative agency in a male-dominated industry, and endured periods of professional isolation that weighed heavily on her psyche. Bancroft's personal life, though seemingly stable in her enduring marriage to Mel Brooks, was punctuated by bouts of intense self-reflection, artistic obsession, and a lifelong negotiation between public acclaim and private desire for authenticity. She approached these challenges with a blend of introspective resilience and uncompromising dedication to her craft, creating performances that resonated with honesty and emotional precision. Bancroft passed away June 6, 2005, at 73 from uterine cancer, leaving an estate valued at around $50 million, encompassing film royalties, real estate, and intellectual property. Her legacy is immeasurable. She not only influenced generations of actors with her technical mastery and fearless vulnerability but also embodied the complex interplay between personal struggle and artistic triumph, offering a model of perseverance and depth that continues to inspire. Ernest Borgnine was 60 when he portrayed the centurion in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, a role that allowed him to fuse his rugged, commanding presence with moments of profound spiritual awe. The centurion's arc, from dutiful soldier to a witness transformed by faith, required subtlety, internalized conflict, and an understated gravitas that Borgnine delivered effortlessly, making a supporting role linger in the minds of viewers. Born January 24, 1917, in Hamden, Connecticut, to Italian immigrant parents, Borgnine endured a childhood steeped in economic hardship and strict discipline, experiences that forged a tenacity and work ethic that carried him through decades in Hollywood. Personal tragedy, including the end of multiple marriages and the death of close family members, interwove with the public pressures of fame, occasionally leading to moments of self-doubt and intense privacy-seeking. His career, though celebrated for the Oscar-winning role in Marty, was punctuated by periods of professional marginalization and challenges adapting to typecasting as gruff, working-class characters, yet he used these obstacles to cultivate a diverse body of work across film and television. Borgnine faced the tension between his larger-than-life on-screen persona and his desire for meaningful personal connection, navigating high-profile relationships, fleeting romantic entanglements, and the scrutiny of public life with resilience. His later years saw him embracing veteran and charitable work, reflecting on a life marked by survival, adaptability, and charm. Borgnine died July 8, 2012, at 95 from renal failure, leaving an estate valued at approximately $15 million, including property, film royalties, and investments. His legacy combines his vast cinematic contributions with a persona that bridged the rugged everyman and the tender-hearted observer, leaving an indelible impression on American culture in the portrayal of moral complexity in film. Valentina Cortez was 54 when she assumed the role of Herodias in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, embodying the scheming, regal, and morally ambiguous queen whose manipulation of power and ruthless ambition helped precipitate the execution of John the Baptist. On screen, Cortez's Herodias was mesmerizing, elegant, intimidating, and suffused with a subtle menace that elevated the tension of court intrigue. Born January 1, 1923, in Milan, Italy, to a family immersed in the arts, her early years were colored by the challenges of growing up in fascist Italy, enduring wartime scarcity, political instability, and societal pressures that demanded conformity and resilience. These formative experiences shaped a sophisticated, self-reliant woman whose artistic sensibility was intertwined with a cautious mistrust of authority and a deep empathy for human vulnerability. Cortez's career, spanning over 100 films and numerous awards, was interlaced with personal upheavals, a turbulent marriage to Richard Basehart, the loss of their son, and professional struggles navigating typecasting in the male-centric European film industry. These tragedies and challenges fueled her artistry, allowing her to bring unparalleled depth to roles that demanded emotional complexity, sensuality, and subtle cruelty. Cortez's personal life was marked by periods of introspection and self-reinvention, embracing creative collaborations while maintaining independence in her choices. She passed away July 10, 2019, at 96 from natural causes, leaving a net worth estimated around $5 million, comprising film royalties, real estate, and investments. Her cultural and artistic legacy lies in her transformative performances, her resilience in navigating personal and professional adversities, and her enduring influence on generations of European and international actors, demonstrating how personal adversity can be transmuted into hauntingly beautiful cinematic expression. James Ferrantino was 39 when he took on the role of Simon Peter in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, embodying the fiery, impulsive, and deeply loyal apostle whose human flaws and ultimate redemption resonated profoundly with audiences. On screen, Ferrantino captured the tension between doubt and faith, ambition and humility, delivering a performance that was both emotionally raw and spiritually compelling. Born February 24, 1938, in Brooklyn, New York, he grew up in a working-class Italian-American family, facing economic hardships, the early loss of extended family members, and the pressure to conform to traditional expectations while harboring a deep desire for artistic expression. His childhood was marked by frequent relocations, social scrutiny, and an awareness of mortality that shaped his intensity and drive. Ferrantino's career was a mix of critical acclaim and public scandal. He navigated a turbulent personal life including multiple high-profile divorces, a stalking incident involving Tina Sinatra, and a drug-related arrest, which often overshadowed his professional accomplishments. Despite these challenges, he maintained a prolific career in film, television, and stage, earning an Emmy nomination for Simon Peter. Ferrantino struggled privately with health complications later in life, exacerbated by lifestyle factors and the cumulative stress of Hollywood scrutiny, but he continued to act and mentor younger performers. He died on January 24, 2012, in Los Angeles at age 73 due to complications following a broken hip, with contributing factors including diabetes and cardiopulmonary disease. His net worth at death was estimated at around $1 million, reflecting both his professional earnings and the financial drain of personal and legal battles. Ferrantino's legacy endures through his compelling portrayals of conflicted, human characters and serves as a cautionary tale of brilliance intertwined with personal turmoil, highlighting the often hidden struggles behind a captivating screen presence. James Earl Jones was 46 when he portrayed Balthazar, one of the three wise men, in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, delivering a performance imbued with gravitas, dignity, and spiritual authority that became emblematic of his career. On screen, Jones' commanding voice and understated presence conveyed wisdom and quiet strength, leaving a lasting impression of the mysterious yet profoundly human figure. Born January 17, 1931, in Arkabutla, Mississippi, to a family of African-American heritage, Jones endured a traumatic childhood marked by a severe stutter that isolated him socially and academically, forcing him to internalize emotions and develop extraordinary patience and observation skills. Military service in the Korean War further shaped his worldview, exposing him to hierarchy, discipline, and human frailty, which would later inform his acting. Professionally, Jones faced early discrimination in Hollywood, navigating a racially biased industry while establishing a career in theater before transitioning to film and television. He achieved international acclaim, winning an EGOT, yet his personal life was marked by the tension of balancing fame with privacy, occasional health challenges, and the pressures of public expectation. Jones remained active creatively and philanthropically, mentoring emerging performers and championing civil rights and arts education. He passed away on September 9, 2024, in Pawling, New York, at age 93, leaving an estimated net worth of $45 million, including investments, property, and royalties. His enduring legacy is monumental, a voice and presence that shaped American culture, expanded representation in media, and inspired generations of performers, with countless untold stories of resilience, meticulous preparation, and private acts of mentorship behind the legendary public persona. Tony Lo Bianco was 41 when he played Quintilius, a Roman officer in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, infusing the role with authority, subtle menace, and human complexity that heightened the film's tension and political realism. Quintilius was both a symbol of imperial power and a character navigating personal ambition and moral compromise, and Lo Bianco's performance was noted for its layered subtlety and grounded authenticity. Born October 19, 1936, in Brooklyn, New York, into an Italian-American family, he experienced a childhood defined by working-class struggles, ethnic stereotyping, and the expectation to succeed despite limited opportunities, which instilled a fierce independence and tenacity. Lo Bianco's career was marked by both acclaim and controversy. While he earned a Tony nomination and critical praise for his work in theater, film, and television, he faced the usual Hollywood pressures of typecasting, intense competition, and occasional personal conflicts with directors and co-stars. Health scares, including heart-related concerns in later years, and the relentless pace of acting posed continual challenges, yet he consistently sought roles that allowed him to explore moral ambiguity and social commentary. Off-screen, Lo Bianco navigated personal upheavals, including the demands of family life and industry scrutiny, while dedicating himself to directing and producing, expanding his creative influence beyond acting. He died on June 11, 2024, at age 87 from prostate cancer, leaving an estimated net worth of $4 million, encompassing real estate, residuals, and intellectual property. His legacy is characterized by versatility, resilience, and the ability to convey authority with nuance, leaving a body of work that resonates culturally and artistically, with stories of perseverance and uncompromising dedication to craft that remain largely untold behind his celebrated public image. James Mason was 68 when he appeared in Jesus of Nazareth in 1977 as Joseph of Arimathea, a figure of quiet nobility and deep compassion whose provision of a tomb for Jesus left a lasting spiritual and emotional impression on audiences. On screen, Mason's dignified, authoritative presence lent weight and solemnity to the biblical narrative, his every gesture and line imbued with moral gravity. Born May 15, 1909, in Huddersfield, England, into a middle-class family, Mason's childhood was marked by tension and upheaval. His father's strict authoritarianism and a household riddled with economic instability forced him to cultivate self-discipline and emotional reserve at an early age. These early pressures shaped his capacity for subtle emotional expression, a skill he would later refine to perfection in his acting. Mason's career, though illustrious, was far from smooth. Despite becoming a Hollywood star, he endured turbulent marriages, financial strains from lavish lifestyle choices, and persistent pressure to maintain a public image of refinement and sophistication. He was also known for bouts of heavy drinking, which occasionally compromised professional relationships and on-set dynamics. Deeply passionate about animal rights, Mason often devoted personal energy to causes outside the film industry, which brought both fulfillment and occasional public scrutiny. These personal and professional oscillations reflect a man balancing brilliance with vulnerability, navigating fame and private dissatisfaction. Mason died on July 27, 1984, at age 75 from a heart attack, leaving a net worth of approximately $10 million. His legacy endures in the elegance of his performances, the intensity he brought to morally complex characters, and the quietly subversive moments where his personal insight enriched the depth of his roles, making him an actor whose life was as layered and compelling as the characters he portrayed. Laurence Olivier was 70 when he portrayed Nicodemus in Jesus of Nazareth, embodying the wise Pharisee whose spiritual inquiries added a contemplative depth to the narrative, bridging human doubt and divine mystery. Olivier's performance was measured and compelling, a testament to his unparalleled Shakespearean training, where every gesture and inflection conveyed intellectual rigor and moral complexity. Born May 22, 1907, in Dorking, England, Olivier grew up in a household where social status, artistic ambition, and rigid expectations clashed, leaving him with a keen awareness of personal inadequacy and emotional suppression. His early experiences with bullying and parental criticism fueled both a relentless drive for perfection and a lifelong struggle with insecurity, which would haunt his personal relationships and fuel his professional intensity. Despite being lauded worldwide, Olivier's life was marked by scandal, including the very public dissolution of 3 marriages, entanglements with Vivian Leigh, and professional rivalries that often turned bitter. Behind the polished veneer, he battled depression and the enormous psychological weight of being considered one of the greatest actors of his time, a pressure that shaped his relentless work ethic and complicated personal life. Olivier died on July 11, 1989, at age 82 from renal failure, leaving a net worth of approximately $20 million. His cultural legacy, however, far exceeds material wealth, with a career that reshaped modern acting, set benchmarks for cinematic and stage excellence, and left audiences with performances of staggering emotional and intellectual depth, as well as a glimpse of the private torments that forged genius. Donald Pleasance was 58 when he appeared as Melchior, one of the Magi, in Jesus of Nazareth, delivering a performance that combined mystical gravitas and understated intensity, contributing to the film's aura of historical and spiritual authenticity. Pleasance's piercing gaze and quiet command transformed Melchior from a mere biblical figure into a fully realized presence, communicating both wisdom and subtle human vulnerability. Born October 5, 1919, in Worksop, England, Pleasance endured a childhood framed by post-World War I economic hardship and a strict, sometimes oppressive family environment, which instilled resilience, introspection, and an ability to channel internal tension into creative expression. His formative years were punctuated by the trauma of World War II, where he served as a soldier and was captured as a prisoner of war, experiences that left lasting psychological scars but also informed the intensity of his later performances. Professionally, Pleasance achieved acclaim for his distinctive screen presence, yet his career was marked by physical exhaustion, personal insecurities, and the struggle to be taken seriously in roles outside horror or suspense genres, sometimes leading to professional frustration and typecasting. He faced health complications later in life, including heart problems requiring valve replacement, and a series of personal losses that added emotional weight to his performances. Pleasance died on February 2, 1995, in Saint-Paul-de-Vence, France, at age 75 from complications following heart valve surgery, leaving an estimated net worth of $10 million. His legacy encompasses an extraordinary range of roles across stage and screen, his unique ability to combine intellectual precision with emotional vulnerability, and an indelible impact on cinematic history, making him a figure whose life and work remain inseparable in their depth, intensity, and resonance. Christopher Plummer was 48 when he portrayed Herod Antipas in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, embodying a ruler whose calculated decadence and political cunning made him one of the most compelling antagonists in biblical cinema. On screen, Plummer's Herod was regal, sly, and unsettlingly human, a man oscillating between indulgence and paranoia, whose presence heightened the narrative tension and lingered in the viewer's memory long after the credits rolled. Born December 13, 1929, in Toronto, Canada, to a middle-class family with English and Scottish roots, Plummer endured a childhood complicated by a distant father who undervalued artistic pursuits, and a mother whose mental health struggles instilled early lessons in resilience and self-reliance. These formative years shaped his intensity and dedication, fostering a man deeply committed to mastering his craft. Despite early-stage success, he struggled with typecasting and occasional critical neglect, which fueled a relentless drive for excellence and recognition. Off-camera, Plummer was famously private yet fiercely principled, often rejecting roles that compromised his artistic integrity and occasionally clashing with Hollywood power structures. Personal tragedies, including the deaths of close colleagues and friends, left him reflective and at times melancholic, channeling such depths into his performances. Plummer's career endured decades of reinvention, from Shakespearean theater to Hollywood blockbusters, culminating in an Oscar win for Beginners and numerous Tony and Emmy accolades, reflecting a triumph over early insecurities and professional obstacles. He passed away on February 5, 2021, at age 91 following complications from a fall. At death, his net worth was estimated at $20 million, including extensive real estate, art collections, and residuals from decades of prolific work. Anthony Quinn was 62 when he assumed the role of Caiaphas in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, channeling the high priest's ruthless pragmatism, political acumen, and existential fear of revolutionary change. Quinn's performance was a masterclass in gravitas, portraying a man whose authority and ambition concealed deep insecurities and personal moral conflicts, contributing a visceral tension to the film's depiction of power and human frailty. Born April 21, 1915, in Chihuahua, Mexico, to a poor family of mixed Irish and Mexican heritage, Quinn experienced extreme childhood poverty, domestic turbulence, and early educational challenges, including dyslexia, which left him isolated and fiercely determined to assert his talent. His personal life mirrored the intensity of his on-screen presence. 3 marriages, 13 children, and a series of publicized extramarital affairs painted a portrait of a man both charismatic and controversial. Professionally, Quinn battled ethnic typecasting in Hollywood, often being relegated to exotic or villainous roles, a challenge that fueled his drive for complex characters and international acclaim. Scandals and rumors of volatile behavior on set shadowed his early career, yet he leveraged these trials to deliver performances of emotional and intellectual depth. Quinn's resilience led him to win 2 Academy Awards and achieve enduring recognition across stage and screen, yet his life was punctuated by health struggles, including battles with throat cancer that ultimately contributed to his death on June 3, 2001, at age 86 from respiratory failure, pneumonia, and cancer complications. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $20 million, encompassing real estate, film royalties, and valuable memorabilia. Beyond material assets, Quinn's legacy is one of transcending personal hardship, challenging Hollywood prejudices, and demonstrating how resilience, intensity, and fearless dedication to the complexity of human character can create a cultural and artistic imprint that endures beyond a lifetime. Fernando Rey was 60 when he portrayed Gaspar, one of the 3 wise men, in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977, delivering a performance marked by refined dignity, calm wisdom, and subtle spiritual gravitas that elevated the film's depiction of biblical events. On screen, Rey's Gaspar was measured, contemplative, and understated, embodying a quiet authority that contrasted with the turmoil around him and left a lasting impression through his ability to convey moral and philosophical depth without theatrical exaggeration. Born September 20, 1917, in A Coruña, Spain, into a family affected by the socio-political upheavals of post-World War I Europe and the Spanish Civil War, Rey experienced economic hardship, political instability, and personal loss during his formative years, which instilled in him a nuanced understanding of human complexity and vulnerability. He faced professional and personal challenges, including depression, language barriers, and periods of marginalization as he navigated the demands of international cinema, Yet he became renowned for his collaborations with Louis Buñuel and other auteurs, portraying morally ambiguous, aristocratic, or enigmatic figures with an elegance that few could replicate. Despite his success, Ray maintained a relatively private personal life, eschewing scandal, though he endured emotional isolation and the constant pressure of sustaining artistic relevance. He died on March 9, 1994, at age 76 from bladder cancer. At his death, his net worth was estimated under $1 million, including modest property holdings and residuals from his extensive film career. Ray's legacy transcends financial measure. He expanded the global perception of Spanish actors, elevated morally complex storytelling in cinema, and offered a masterclass in subtlety and gravitas, influencing generations of actors and directors while leaving behind a body of work celebrated for psychological depth, cultural resonance, and enduring artistic integrity. Ralph Richardson, born December 19, 1902, in Cheltenham, England, appeared in Jesus of Nazareth in 1977 at age 75 as Simeon, the venerable elder whose eyes recognized the Messiah in a moment of transcendent clarity. On screen, Richardson brought a profound stillness and quiet dignity, giving life to a man whose faith had endured decades of hardship and uncertainty. Behind the iconic presence was a childhood marked by personal struggles. He grew up in a middle-class English household during the tumultuous post-Victorian era, where emotional restraint was expected, and his early artistic inclinations were often dismissed or mocked. This cultivated in him a stoic temperament and an internal world rich with observation and sensitivity, traits that informed his stage and screen work. Richardson faced numerous career challenges, including clashes with directors who misunderstood his deliberate style and occasional typecasting that threatened to confine him to certain theatrical molds. He navigated these with his characteristic eccentricity, retreating from the glare of fame when necessary to preserve artistic integrity. Despite these hurdles, he maintained a career of extraordinary longevity, becoming a touchstone of British theatre and cinema while quietly mentoring younger actors and pursuing personal interests far from the spotlight. Richardson passed away on October 10, 1983, at age 80 from a series of strokes, leaving a modest net worth estimated under $1 million, but his legacy endures through his transformative performances, the reverence of peers, and the enduring influence on acting techniques that blend gravitas with subtle humanity. The depth he brought to Simeon in Jesus of Nazareth remains emblematic of his lifelong pursuit of authenticity and emotional truth, offering audiences a glimpse of a soul forged in resilience, intellect, and compassion. Rod Steiger, born April 14, 1925, in West Hampton, New York, appeared in Jesus of Nazareth in 1977 at age 52 as Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor whose inner conflict between conscience and political expediency defines the tragic tension of his scenes. Steiger's portrayal was emotionally complex and morally nuanced, capturing a man simultaneously calculating and tormented by the weight of historical judgment. Born to immigrant parents in a working-class household, Steiger's early years were riddled with financial strain, social prejudice, and the constant pressure to prove himself in an environment that often dismissed artistic ambitions. These hardships fed a restless intensity that later manifested in his method acting and relentless preparation for roles, often leading to clashes with co-stars and directors. His career was punctuated by both triumph and controversy. While winning an Oscar for In the Heat of the Night, he endured periods of professional instability, multiple divorces, and battles with depression and heart disease. Personal life crises, including public disputes and health struggles, deeply influenced his approach to characters, infusing them with the raw vulnerability and aggression he internalized. Steiger remained committed to challenging, layered performances, leveraging his life experiences to add authenticity and emotional resonance. He died on July 9, 2002, at age 77 from pneumonia and kidney failure, leaving an estimated net worth of $8 million. Steiger's legacy lies in his fearless immersion into morally complex roles, a template for actors pursuing depth and realism, with Pilate serving as a testament to his ability to humanize historical figures caught in ethical turmoil. Though time has passed, the laughter they gave us still echoes. The cast of Jesus of Nazareth brought joy to millions. And even though some of them are no longer with us, their performances live on. As we remember those we've lost, we also celebrate the legacy they left behind, one that continues to entertain and connect generations. Thank you for joining us in honoring these unforgettable stars. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tributes to the legends of television history.